bombs. It's always the worst.
Good thing that doesn't happen in open mode, though. And it looks like we're actually off already. With half magic in Link's house is a really nice start. Not progress, but a really nice luxury item to have. It looks like both of our players forgetting to pick up the Zaen to kill the guard.
I saw that. They both did the little double back. That was funny.
Let's see what the tree pull gives us. Just, well, yeah. Not that much.
The solid green rupee. Now it's still interesting. I wonder what the setup is for that. How sometimes you only get one blue guard spawn versus sometimes you get two. So we had only one on Futon's side and two on the other side. It's weird.
I think it has something to do with the amount of sprites on screen, just like the magic drop on the right-hand side of Skull Woods.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and there we go. Man, if this was a standard seed, this would be perfect.
I just love how both of our players are following each other's footsteps, like, exactly. And I think the first check we're going to see in a bit is the old Lumberjack Cave to see if our good friend Aghanim is required, yes or no.
That's always a good start. Oftentimes players will skip that if they don't have like the boots or something. But looks like these players are both going to go ahead and find out. Oh, and we got 5 rupees from the bush crabs, so that'll be a free, I don't know, how many do you usually get for them? Well, Zane's only going to get 2, accidentally killing it.
I think normally it's 6 in total, and I could not see what was on Lumberjack Cave on foot on screen.
Looks like
yeah.
Triple bombs. So as far as we know, Aga is not required, but depending on how the rest of this beginning sequence goes, we might be going that way anyway.
Indeed, for Lumberjack it's not required, but we can still have the elusive Hammer Fat Fairy.
Yeah, it's a very rare occurrence, but when it does happen, it usually hurts. Oh, that's Zaen saying, no, I don't need that heart container in the Lost Woods. That's a free heart. Oh man. Oh, but the hook shot, that's a little bit more important.
That is a nice find. It doesn't open up anything directly, but it does speed up a little bit of traverse right now. And of course, it is one of the items that's always required, no matter which pendant dungeons.
It's also, until they find a weapon, a good source of killing certain enemies, or at least stunning them.
And more green rupees from a tree pull.
That's weird. Can you have multiples of the same one for different tiers? Because I think he set up the tier 3. He might have missed something, but... Alright, let's take a look and see what's down in the Blind's basement. Anything of value down in here? Maybe some more bombs. Maybe
At
a sword.
least 30 rupees. Oh wait, 300 rupees.
There we go. There's some Zora money for you. Well, at least 2 of those chests were vanilla.
And the magic cape.
Oh no.
That is something you don't want to see early on.
No, you do not.
Cape, and if they get an early lamp as well, that is a massive signal towards Aghanim 1. And more money in the well. Seed is not giving that many items out, it's just a whole lot of money so far. Well, and that's why Zaen didn't pick up that Heart and Mushroom spot. He'll just find one in the, in the chest right here.
But he could have 2. Oh, and there's the Ether Medallion from the Bottle Vendor. We don't know if that's going to be required or not, but at the same time, it's good to get those medallions out of the way. Now, is this going to be one of those seeds where we find all 3 medallions before we get our first sword?
And then having, well, Meyer and T-Rock being both pendants.
And both required?
Oh boy.
Might as well.
Yeah, it's always just a little bit of peace of mind out of your way as soon as you get all 3 medallions, because then you just don't have to look at which medallion is required for your go mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can just take out that one extra check up in T-Rock. Out of the way. I mean, it's only a matter of seconds, but still. Yeah, looks like Zaen picking up some bombs from the shop and getting some of his money back from the tavern. And we get our first map check. So we got 2 crystals, one at Tower of Hera, one at Eastern, and Green Pendant Desert Palace.
That is very interesting. That could mean that we will see a bootless seed, because, well, that's generally one of the places where boots are required in desert.
And a fire... No fire shield for Zaen. Will we see a fire shield for Futon? Probably not.
I've got a feeling they're just both going to be like, we don't need that shield just yet.
Let's see if our players are going to follow the same path down to South Shore. It's looking that way, but who knows? Ooh, alright.
It's going Eastern.
Bit of a route divergence. Alright, well, we'll find out which one pays off.
It doesn't really matter which route they take, because they'll generally do the south of Hyrule and Sahashala anyways. But it's nice to see who gets the most value out of their play right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because any, like boots or something that could speed up, or just anything in general.
And Zaen does pick up this art.
And oftentimes, Eastern... Oh, and there's the book! So we suddenly have Desert Palace access. Ooh.
You didn't hear what I said about Desert earlier, right? Let's just skip that one.
It's not required. Boots aren't required. I mean, we've seen races where you just need the book to get into desert to get, like, a required item out of that middle chest, and that's it. Then you can bail on the rest of it.
Yeah, that is true.
And now, all of a sudden, like, going into Eastern or going into desert without the ability to complete either is, like, pretty much a similar valued play.
This seed is giving out a whole lot of love, though. I think that's their 5th full heart container already.
It's pretty nice, especially this early. Yeah, that's strange. A mini Moldrum Cave not really having much value. Usually that's, like, been the new hype cave, but now I guess it switches off every race, because there's that one, there's actual hype cave, and then there's the Paradox Cave.
Maybe we'll get an actual hype cave this run.
Maybe. I like that.
Just won the 3 in a row race right there.
That was hilarious. He's like, ooh, blue rupee, ooh, blue rupee, and the chest had a blue rupee.
That's I actually like this play on Ice Rod Cave from Zaen, though, because it's usually an out-of-the-way place that players don't check early that often, so if it has a big item, this could give Zaen an advantage.
I wonder if he'll save and quit out, or if he's going to go fake flipper at least up to, like, Hobo or something. Oh, wow, there's the glove. Okay. Zert. Glove.
Yes.
Hookshot. No lamp, but Death Mountain access. Or Back of Escape. We've got options.
I think at this point I would definitely check Back of Escape, since it's just 3 free chests, and then, well, going towards Death Mountain is definitely not a bad play here.
So this is why I personally don't skip Ice Rock Cave, because that one time you do is the one time it has, like, the glove or some sort of required item, and then you end up just getting really far behind. Now, if these glove locked locations don't lead to anything, then we'll see.
Well, he nearly has Zora money and another full heart container.
Yeah, these dark rooms are not going to be very fun when you only have a hook shot. I mean, at least with, like, a boomerang, it's a little bit easier to see your way through the dark, but just a hook shot's kind of obnoxious.
Is Zaen going to go to escape with just having bombs as weapon?
It's not really a bad play. He has 10 bombs, so he has more than enough to kill him, and he also has the hook shot, which allows him to stun him to make it so that, they don't run away from the bomb. So it's a bit of a slow play, but we know that nothing of value was over in the Eastern Palace area except for that book, which could be our next progression item, but...
And the fun part as well, in the logic, it doesn't state that the escape requires a weapon, so anything can be an escape.
And he finds a small key, which will allow him to get to the back of escape.
Again. But this does mean that there is an item in the dark, because they found the map at the back end, the back side of it.
Ah, yes, that is a good point.
So will we see a death warp and him trying to go into the dark here?
Oh, and Armo's holding the third item in Eastern Palace, so nothing going on in Eastern. Where are you gonna go to next, Futon? I'd follow the trail. I'd take that book down and go to desert.
Yeah, and then check Agena, which is also one of those locations which is fairly out of the way and people just generally don't check until late.
Oh, there's some more money. Zaen probably looking for a sword, not money. The funny thing is, he didn't actually... Well, wait, never mind. Don't you get locked in that room with the guard, right? The blue guard that you have to kill to get the small key? Okay.
But he is low on heart, so I'm actually expecting him to set up a death warp here for the Dark of Escape.
He's gonna try and
is he going to use the guard or not? Ah!
Well, the thing is, you can't use it without a sword, so...
Yeah, you was thinking about freezing the guard and throwing that one at the ball and chain one.
We don't have game audio, but I'm sure I heard a there right then.
Followed by the of course from Zaen in real life.
Yeah, I can only hope. Futon now gonna go get his hearts and junk items, upgrades, and stuff from Mini Moldorm Cave, and we'll see if he makes the trip all the way over to Ice Rock Cave to get that glove, while Zaen is gonna be making that sequence break up to Death Mountain without the lantern, you know. Well, that makes me think, like, we'll, depending on what we find up here, we'll determine whether we find, like, the lantern or even the flute somewhere out in the wild. So, if anything, it gives you some valuable information about how the seed's playing out.
Indeed. What would you rather find on Death Mountain, the flute or the lamp?
If you find the lamp on Death Mountain, then that means the flute is somewhere accessible. If you find the flute, then that means the lamp is somewhere accessible outside of Death Mountain.
I think I'd actually prefer to find the lamp here, because then you know you have a really early flute somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we still don't have Dark World access. There's a hammer for Futon on the desert ledge. So that book was the progression that we needed. Now, of course, there's got to be a lamp like in Death Mountain or Agona's Cave, because here's what I'm thinking. Lamp, hammer, Death Mountain, hookshot, Tower of Hera. Think about it.
That is a very, very good guess indeed.
It's a bit of a gamble because we don't... Well, actually, no. We do have a hammer, so we can at least beat Moldorm and get a crystal. But without a fire source, that basement's going to be, you know... Oh, we would have a lamp.
There, yeah.
Actually, yeah, we would have a lamp by then, based on the logic, so... Lamp in desert? Ooh.
Well, we can continue, so we can see what's on the right-hand side. But this actually puts Futon on a really small advantage, because Zaen can probably not enter Hera, where Futon can.
Yeah. Of course, Futon still doesn't have that, you know, Death Mountain in his mind yet, because he doesn't have that glove, so... But after this, he'll either go to Hyrule Castle, or he'll make his way over to Ice Rock Cave. Because I don't think he has any options after that. Oh, the flippers! Well, that's gonna send him... That's gotta send him over there. Alright. Now I'm thinking we're gonna find like a sword or something in Zora's domain. But let's see what's going on in Paradox Cave.
Nothing yet, but usually the two chests on the bottom don't hold that much information, but the top 5 is just usually the treasure hoard. And let's see what's on the lamp. the red boomerang, so boots are not required for desert.
Oh, there's our first bottle, and our second. Okay.
No, not 3, 2.
So at this rate, that means that... Well, did Futon check the big chest in desert?
I think he did, and I don't know if it held an item. I couldn't see that one properly.
So potentially Landmole's got the last one then?
Potentially, yes. Together with the green pen, that would definitely be a nice incentive to get the kill there.
Mm-hmm. And depending on how the rest of the run goes, we might see that come into play later. Maybe with paired with a Meyer check or something. But yeah, nothing really, unless the sick kid holds a progression item. Zane's not really finding too much up in the Paradox Cave, and his route is about to be cut short soon because he doesn't have that hammer.
So, according to what they've checked so far, the flippers should lead to their deathFouton access or Dark World access.
Right, yeah, we could get even a Moon Pearl over in the Zora area, and deathMountain could be just a later play. So, let's see what's on the Lake Hylia Island. It is 100 rupees. Ah.
Well, the only 100 rupees in the game, so that is quite a rare find.
Hopefully, with Futon, he'll route to Ice Rod Cave before he dips into the Zora area. It would make sense, because he would never have a reason to ever come back to this area again afterwards, except to go to, Ice Palace, so skipping it would be kind of silly. And, on Zane's side, only finding a piece of heart in Spiral Cave, so he's finally going to make his way over to Eastern, where he's going to go get that book in Sahasra's hut. We'll see if he makes the Eastern play, or if he beelines it straight to Desert Palace.
But on the other hand, I mean, Futon has, not that many items, but he does have the options left of Zora, so I'd expect him to clear Zora first before heading to Ice Rock Cave.
That's true. Though, it is kind of a walk to go back from Zora, the end of Zora, or, check Zora and then go all the way back, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and do that, so it's going to be missing out on that glove for a little bit longer. But depending on what the items you get in here, it'll probably, he'll probably hit a dead end before he...
Oh, well, that not a dead end, but the portal for the second time.
Third time's a charm. There you go.
But yeah, there are actually two types of players I've noticed on the Ice Rock Cave. One type is it doesn't have anything useful, so let's just not check it. And the other one's well, if it has something, I just want to check it as soon as possible.
And there's our lamp. So that Hera play is probably the play. And fortunately for Futon, that means that, unless Zora gives them Dark World access immediately, he'll... Actually, no, he would need at least 2 more items before he has Dark World access. So he's gonna get that. He's probably gonna get that glove, but it's gonna be the last item he gets.
Yeah, indeed, because this gives him Dark World access. Well, he might actually opt to go to the one chest in the escape as well, because that opens up for him right now.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Well, I don't think he's done Hyrule Castle either, so he might opt to do that before going to Ice Rod.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, he does have the hammer, so that is a really fast play as well.
And just a bomb upgrade. All right. Futon,
Zora being Zora again.
There goes all that money. Yeah, we'll see how far Zaen goes through Eastern Palace, if he's going to go do the Dark Rooms as well. We know that the big key is in its vanilla location, so... But he might opt to skip that for later. Especially when it's that 50-50 of Armos Knight having the last item or not. And this does give Futon a little bit of time to check some more stuff before... But yeah, that's true. He will have the lamp, so we'll probably get a Death Ward and a sewer check.
Yeah, because you will also find his small key in the first half, so...
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of... Yeah, because he hasn't gotten the glove, so he hasn't done the back of escape, so he'll full clear Hyrule Castle here. It'd be amazing if, there was a sword in the sewer chest or something.
I have seen so many items in that sewer chest, and so many people actually forgetting about it, because it's so early, and, well, you don't At least a lot of people just don't access it until they have the lamp, and at that point they have so much more to explore.
Yeah, it's not a very fun dark room to go through, especially when you don't have a sword. I mean, Hookshot will take care of that one rat that holds a key, but they do have a lot of health, so dying in there is not really a concern.
Yeah, but setting up for the Death Warp is going to be quite a task here.
Just gotta walk into the ball and chain guy like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 8, 10 times.
Well, and then we find another heart container in Zelda's cell, so that would mean one more time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, as chat just pointed out, if gloves are actually in the sewer chest, that would mean that Zaen misses one glove upgrade, which is really hard to get by, and Futon missing the same one, only in a very awkward location as well.
That would be hilarious. Oh, it looks like he's not even going to set up for the Death Warp. Too much health. I wonder if he'll go back in or if he'll go to Ice Rock Cave. And what is Zaen going to do next? Probably go to Desert Palace, so...
Futon forgetting he doesn't have a sword yet.
Punching some bushes. Well, we are going to get some new information on Futon's side with that sewer chest coming up. But yeah, once Zaen gets that hammer, he'll probably head right back up to Death Mountain at this point. Though he... Oh, well, he is going to get the flipper, so he'll probably go check all the flipper spots next.
And he'll be happy to find that lamp up there, because then he knows that he's back on sequence again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it will be... Go ahead.
Is it going to be a vanilla moon pearl? That's what I'm wondering.
We could have a vanilla moon pearl, indeed.
Or it could be right here. Ah, just a red rupee? That's boring. But Futon about to run out of options, and honestly, by the time he finishes this and Zaen finishes that... Well, except Zaen has all the Paradox Cave stuff, so he'll beeline it right up to... Actually, I don't know. I feel like these guys are still pretty even at this point.
The only thing that Zaen hasn't done, which Futon has done, is the Zora area, or at least every single flipper area, and, well, Zaen has done the entire right side of Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So I'd say they're still pretty tied.
The only thing is, like, to go all the way back to Ice Rock Cave is such a long walk.
That is true.
But it's one of those things that you gotta either just commit to it early or don't commit to it at all. Except in this case, you have to. Oh yeah, and Zaen learned the hard truth that hookshot on those little guys don't really do much for you. Does not get rid of the little quicksand.
But at least now we'll get to see whether Lanmo has the second item. Oh wait, Lanmo couldn't have the second item because the Red Boomerang was indeed on the torch.
Oh yeah, good point. I somehow already forgot flippers were in there.
Well, I had actually forgotten about the Red Boomerang. I said it, and like 2 minutes later I was completely forgetting about it again.
It's just so forgettable of an item.
Indeed. And also, well, my brain just doesn't work on Red Boomerangs.
So, despite our conversation earlier, and the fact that we know that there's nothing in Lumberjack Cave, this seed could still potentially be setting up for an Aga play if they find a sword up in Tower of Hera as opposed to a Moon Pearl, and Moon Pearl's like on the pyramid or whatnot. Right? It's still a possibility. I don't want to write it off yet.
Well, our Pearl is on, let's see, Checkerboard Cave, for example, and they find a mirror and flute as well, and Titan's Mitts.
Well, we only have 2 items in Tower of Hera to find, potentially.
Well, and one on Pyramid Ledge, so that would lead to 3 in total. And wait, they didn't check Sick Kid either, at least Zaen didn't.
Oh yeah, that's true. So that's still on the board. But Sick Kid never has anything.
Well, tell that to Sickit as soon as he hands you over like that nice bowl or something.
He's just gonna have another bottle. Oh, that's a nice bottle. You want my bottle too?
Oh wait, yours is empty. Here, I got a B especially for you.
All right, looks like Zaen is going to be going ahead and checking all the Zora spots, Hobo, etc. So, depending on if Futon goes, he'll probably check all the Paradox Cave stuff before going straight to Tower of Hera. But he knows he has access to that. So, yeah, these players still, I'd say, pretty neck and neck at this point.
Yeah, indeed. And Chad is bringing up another really good point. I mean, the green pendant could also lead to Moon Pearl. Because they have everything to clear out Desert Palace, and they know it's not bootlocked, so...
Oh my gosh, I want that to happen so bad right now. That'd be so mean, because by the logic, it'd be like, get the flippers in Desert to go get the lantern, to go back to Desert to go finish it.
Which is your awesome pendant dungeon.
Yeah. And, you know, we might be... If that's the case, we get to see some, like, hammer bomb strats on Landmola.
Well, to be quite honest, I actually enjoy seeing low percentage sheets, because it usually brings out the best in players. I mean, everybody can play jet seeds, as well, at least that's what my opinion is, but... Well, as soon as you get to low percentage sheets, then you see what the real skill of a player is.
See, that's exactly why I was so for progressive swords. Just because, you know, getting Gold Sword out of Kakariko Village, like, you know, 8 minutes in like, the standard mode, was just so boring. So it's like, alright, cool, every boss is going to be easy now, who cares? Now we see 26, 27 minutes in and no swords yet. That's what I like to see. That's the good stuff.
Futon wishing he had picked up that red boomerang, or at least had the ability to do it.
So yeah, with this routing, it's... He can go to Tower of Hera, he can even see what is on the Ether tablet. He won't be able to get it, but he can see what's there if he needs to come back and get it later. Do Tower of Hera, and then he'll go back and finish Spiral Cave. And with Hammer and Lamp, he'll be able to full clear Tower of Hera and get that crystal.
I personally think that the most trolly thing that can be on Ether Tablet at the moment is a sword upgrade, actually.
It's a pretty rare sight to see. Not only not having at least Master Sword before getting the book, but seeing the sword text on the tablet. What does it say? Like, I know the credits thing is like unknown sword. But I wonder what the tablet says.
I think it has something with a better offense or a upgrade for your sword. One of the two.
Okay.
At least I can remember one seed which I played myself where I had a, well, sword in Lumberjack Cave and a sword upgrade on Bomba's tablet. So we got to Ganon and still had to do Aghanim for one sword upgrade.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. A better copy of your sword. That's it. I believe the tunic one is a better defense.
Isn't that just like the banana hat or the eggplant hat?
Uh-huh. Precisely.
I think
and look.
Better defense is a shield upgrade.
Is it? I might be wrong. I don't know. It's not very often I get to read them. Unless I'm doing like swordless, because in swordless, even if you have you need the hammer to get the tablet items, but you'll still read it first before it gives it to you, which is kind of obnoxious. But yeah, we saw a Rupee Horde on the Ether tablet, and you know Zaen is just right behind Futon, and we'll actually take the lead after this, depending on how it goes, because Futon will have to go back and check Spiral Cave next.
And it also depends on whether the basement is required for an item, which will be interesting to see who takes that gamble to check it, yes or no.
I think at this point you take the gamble. Because we're out of stuff to do. It's gotta be there, right?
Well, Green Pendant, Sick Kid, that's basically it, I think, after this.
You'd hate to, like, not skip it and then check the other spots, find nothing, and then have to go all the way back up. Yeah, it's a good question. I wonder what's faster, hooking to the big chest and dropping down and going back up, or going up and then dropping down, and then just... Either way, you still have to, like, drop down a hole and walk back.
I think the fastest option would be a bomb jump, but I don't really think that it's like a...
Well, I'm talking within the logic, I guess. The safety strats. But you're right, bomb jumps would be easier. But bomb jumps are kind of hard to set up if you don't have the boots, personally.
Or sword.
Or sword. And, you know, falling, taking that double dip in front of the big chest is never a nice sight to see.
That is true. And Mulder not being nice to Photon right here.
There we go.
Yeah, hits. He does get him. Now let's see if basement is required or not.
There it is!
Vanilla Moon Pearl-ish. And I think there's still an item in the basement.
Yep, there's still an item down in the basement, but with that Moon Pearl, all of a sudden he's got Dark World access. Both players will have Dark World access. Zaen trying to squeeze by this little bumper, falling twice, and third time he's just like, nah, I'll just go around. All right, and Photon is going to be going for the basement item because, you know, it could be a sword, it could be anything really. Oh no, and Zaen taking a fall at Moldorn.
Well, Moldorn doesn't want strangers on his lawn.
Get him out of here. I want to imagine a version of Moldorn where, after a certain period of time, the tiles of the arena start falling, like all around going around in a circle.
From the middle hall on, you mean? And then the middle hole and the floor downwards is like getting bigger as well.
All of a sudden, and the whole tower just caves in on itself.
Well, let's see if Zaen opts to the basement while he has Dark World access right now.
Alright, what do we got down here? Anything of value? It is just 10 arrows. And
that's even more disappointing than Hype Cave nowadays.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. But Zaen is making the same play as well. Honestly, I think it's just the safe play, because then you never have to come back up here. Only thing interesting for Photon is he skipped Check-in the Ether Tablet. He also skipped Spiral Cave because of that play. He didn't want to have to walk all the way back out. Without the mirror, he couldn't teleport to the beginning of the dungeon, so... But, Zert, it looks like we are going to go see a Hype Cave play. Speaking of, are you guys ready? Can we get some hype for Hype Cave, or is it going to be a blunder, as usual?
I'm actually thinking that we are going to see some hype, because the last two newborn Hype Caves are actually nothing, so let's just go to the older Hype Cave in here.
I'm thinking we're going to get a sword. We might even get 2.
Let's go for 4. Straight onto the clip page.
That would be amazing. Oh, man, Red Rupee, off to a good start. Oh, the mirror! That's good. Bombs, a heart piece, and a red rupee. Okay, mirror. Mirror's pretty good.
Yeah, it was better than the other 2 Hype Caves.
It's pretty good. I'll take it. Can we get a map check, Photon? And map check. Map check. I'm trying to will this map check on him.
You have to ask him nicely. Photon, would you please check your map so we can see what pendants and crystals there are?
Here, let me type it in IRC real quick. I'm kidding.
That won't work, by the way.
Photon checking the stunned enemy drop. It is fairies. That is amazing.
That is nice. So basically, they don't even need to powder this run.
Nope. And they do have a green potion, so we might not even need any sort of, like, trips to the Witch's Hut.
Zaen going straight for the Spike Cave, which is actually in logic because of that cape and half magic. And Photon didn't go there.
Oh man, this is huge. This could be huge. Because this is one of those places that people put off for, like, ever. Zane's got to be careful, though.
That Pyramid Ledge is nothing.
Oh, just a heart piece. Man, that could have been a huge play for Zaen. I was kind of hoping it was going to be something. Like, even a sword. A sword would have been perfect.
Indeed, I would have actually loved to see something there, because, well, his routing has been absolutely perfectionist right now. He hasn't missed a single chest. So it would actually be nice if that would have paid off.
I wonder if he's gonna go after he does Hype Cave and whatnot. If he's gonna go the left side route up to like Digging Game, because the convenient thing is you can get the mirror in Hype Cave, go to Digging Game, and then mirror up, and then go to Village of Outcasts next.
Check pedestal on the meanwhile.
And we got a map check. Oh man, 5 and 6 at Pod and Mire, and then the other two pendants at Skull and T-Rock. So this could be a Fire Rodless seed. It's depending on where that Bombos medallion is.
Another full heart container. I think they've literally had every single full heart container in the game by now.
We might get to 20 hearts. Or at least like 18, 19.
I mean, we're 35 minutes in, and, well, Futon's already got 14 hearts in total. That is just ridiculous.
It is pretty... And if Zaen hadn't skipped that one in the Lost Woods, he'd be a little bit closer. He'd be one away.
Well, it looks like Zane's going left side, indeed.
Alright, cool. It's a good play. We can check, Haunted Grove, the 2 items there, and then straight up to Digging Game. And both players will probably meet about the same time in Village of Outcasts. Futon's going to be checking the North of the Graveyard.
Getting welcomed by the bee.
Welcomed by the bee and a couple dead ends in there. There's only one way you could get to north of that ledge when you don't have the boots.
Yep,
and when you only have...
Again, Futon.
Well, that bee is really obnoxious. Like, this is the worst place to find... Oh, he's dead now. Okay. All right.
But yeah, I think we can safely say that the entire Light World did not have a sword.
The entire Light World. So far.
So far,
Sick
yes.
Kid. Sick Kid.
Bombos Tablet, Sick Kid, Pedestal.
I mean, it's not unlikely. We have seen some vanilla sword locations every now and then.
Oh, that's a nice find. Blue Mail, while they don't have any weapons yet, so that is always nice to have.
And despite having 14 hearts, Futon is down to 3.5, so he's going to have to be a little careful going through here. Oh, and he's going to go check that Bumper Cave location because he does have the cape. He's just got to be careful, especially if he ends up getting the item there. When you're dropping down from that spot, those pterodactyls will go right for you before you even land.
He doesn't even have to go in, so...
Oh, and we're getting that bottle check.
Oh,
it's the bow! I was wrong! Sick Kid with the bow, so that means Armos... Well, they gotta have something. But at the same time...
Is also quite open, so that is nice.
Yeah, that is a good find.
And the nice part is they can indeed combine EP and Pod, which I expect them to do fairly soon, because that just routes itself in.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if we'll see... Because we do have Crystal Thieves Town, so... And you have the hammer. It's going to be a little difficult without a sword, but... Hammer, strats on, blind isn't the worst thing in the world.
No, indeed. And while we have seen a lot of runners trying to hit blind with bombs, with arrows, with hookshot, but that just doesn't work.
With Fire Rod, all the things. But yeah, interesting to note that both players took different routes to get to the same... Generally, we'll be getting to the same location, and it looks like Zane's also going for the Skullwoods play, so they've come full circle. And only real value picked up was the blue tunic from Digging Game. Oh, that is the worst place to die.
Oh, if he would have died inside the dungeon, that would have been better.
Well, that's going to put him a little bit behind, but at least he might actually go check Sick Kid now. Instead of hopping right back into Skull Woods, because he might skip that last chest, the vanilla big key location. So if that ends up being an item, that's going to hurt Futon quite a bit, but if it's nothing, this actually might work out for him. Sometimes a mistake can lead to... could be the right choice.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering if Zaen is going to check the pedestal, yes or no, while he's like somewhere in the neighborhood. So what is your guess going to be? Is this going to be a pedestal seed, yes or no? And it looks like we're going to see Futon heading... No, he's not heading to into Skullwood, so this might be huge for Zaen if he actually finds a good item in here. So let's see if it actually helped Futon, yes or no. And it's just a compass, so it didn't hurt him all that much. Well, Futon gets a big 20 in the, well, gambling game, so he just made a net minus 10 rupees in total.
Alright, I'm back. What did Zaen find in Skull Woods? Anything of value?
Yes, he found an amazing round compass, aka a Pokeball.
Ooh, that's a good item. Just kidding, it's not. It's pretty bad. Alright, so what we need, for Futon's sake, he needs to remember to check that sick kid. Because that's the one thing you gotta watch out for, is that sometimes when you go into the Dark World, it's easy to forget. But it looks like he's setting up to check that rate. Ah, never mind, hold on.
Not yet, but he's seeing the mirror in his items right now, so he's gotta be like, well, I've got the bottles, I've got a mirror, so why not go and check it?
He might check that before going into Thieves Town, but if he doesn't, he might save it till after Thieves Town. But if he finds progression in Thieves Town, he might completely forget about it.
Yeah, it's still like what I used to call the ooh piece of candy method. That you're like, well, I have to check this sick kid, and all of a sudden you're like, mitts, ooh, wait, I can get this, and then, well, you completely forget about sick kid.
It's really easy to do that. And it especially tends to happen with fetch quest items. Like the bottle,
oh, yeah,
or the shovel, or the mushroom. Everyone's favorite. Oh, wow.
And we got Kane right here.
Well, we know we'll be needing that for Meyer, potentially for T-Rock, but we're a little far away from that.
I'm actually wondering, can you pull the Master Sword pedestal with just a fighter sword, or can you even do it without a sword at all?
I don't think you need... I don't think it checks if you have a sword. Yeah. Especially because, you know, sometimes you need it for, like, swordless or whatnot. So, I think the only time you need a sword is for the pedestals. Or the tablets, excuse me.
And it looks like Futon's found 2 items so far, so there are 2 left here in Thieves Town. And they can get everything because they do have the hammer.
And I'm sure, hopefully, both players will remember to, you know, take advantage of... Yeah, here we go. Futon taking advantage of that stun enemy drop, or the prize, getting those nice little fairies to get his health back up.
And Zaen doesn't know yet about the stun drop, so that could potentially hurt him.
I think he does. I think he might have learned earlier, like very early on, when he was doing Hyrule Castle without bombs. Or without a sword. I could be wrong, but we'll find out. We'll see if he takes advantage of it.
Oh, nice use of hook shot through the hellway right there.
And nice use of bomb there to hit the switch. I have never seen that option.
That was quite awkward to see, indeed. But then again, it gets the job done, which is the most important thing, of course.
I usually just grab the pot, walk up, turn down, and toss it. Oh, and there's our first sword.
45 minutes in.
45. Beautiful. So, Thieves Town, very valuable. Both a sword and Cane of Samaria, 2 required items for this video game.
Well, that also means that there are 2 required items for possibly Meyer.
And I believe that was item number 3, so there still might be one more left in here.
There is one left indeed.
I feel like at this point you might as well like be nice to the players and give them Master Sword immediately. Because why not? Because then, you know, they could route... Well... You know...
I would actually
you know what dungeon is open to them right now?
Ooh, that means, yeah, Swamp Palace is open to them.
And it wasn't because I got a sword that all of a sudden I realized that, oh, it's the blue boomerang. Perfect.
Nice,
But,
you don't have to open the big chest in here.
Yeah, I was thinking a Master Sword would be nice, because taking out Argus using hammer strats is just, it's just not fun.
Yeah, but then again, they have a fighter sword, so they can always use fighter sword on them. Not that it's like that much easier or faster, but
I think it's 2 spins on each puff to kill him with the fighter sword, which you could still kind of like set it up to get 2 kills at once, depending on how quick you are. You know, hook one puff, hook the second one, and then spin.
And, well, we just got a spoiler alert there. Maya requires Ether, Bombos, or Quake. Thank you, Blind. We did not know about that.
I love it when people fall for it. They're like, it requires Bombos or Quake. It's like, no. It's not either. It's Ether.
Ether, indeed.
And Futon taking down Blind, only losing about half his health. Getting his second crystal.
Well, first crystal. Wait, why isn't... They cleared Hera, right?
Yeah, they both cleared Hera.
Okay, yeah.
Tracker trying to bamboozle us. Justin.
I know Futon will probably head to the bottom part of Kakariko Village.
Oh,
or,
he just remembered.
Oh, yeah, no! That
was
okay.
Close. He was very close to leaving that area.
Nice thinking right there, Futon. You definitely want to get the sick kit right now.
Whew. Close call.
Bullet dodged.
And you know, with this routing, he might go down, do digging game, do all that stuff, and I'd say both players should probably go straight to pod, do the pod Eastern play. They have everything they need to complete both. They are both crystals. And they both know that Armos does hold an item, so...
Indeed, and there are, of course, 5 items left in pod as well. And, well, the fun part is that Futon's going to do the, south route and go to pod after, and Zane's going to do the north route and get pod after, so...
They're doing the exact opposite of what they did, so they're going to end up being, like, perfectly even again.
That is always the fun part about Randomizer. I mean, these runners have, followed each other around for, the first 10 minutes, then went completely separate paths, and, they're probably going to converge at pod and Eastern right now.
So, I don't remember what the flute kid gave us. I know there was, I think, a piece of heart or bombs in Sacred Grove, and I think there were bombs here, and then a piece of heart in North of Graveyard, so... At this point, the next
kit gave a big 20.
Oh, big 20. Oh, well, that's a game changer right there. So I'm thinking Armos or Pod has to be our next, progression. Or... Oh, man, I wonder...
Palace.
Yeah, I wonder... Futon is going to be going past Swamp Palace. I wonder if he'll take the dive. Most players love to and prefer to go mode that dungeon. And...
Yeah, but on the other hand, I mean, they're still lacking a lot of items for go mode, so... And Swamp does have 6 items, and generally you only lack 2 if you go straight for Argus, so I would opt to go there.
But it looks like he's saying, nay! I'm going this way. I guess it would have been nice to at least, well... Regardless, they'll be able to check Bombos, so maybe he's like, I want to go find a better sword first. But I'm pretty sure there's probably a sword in Swamp Palace, because there's always a sword in Swamp Palace. So from this routing, honestly, because of Futon's death in Skull Woods... Actually, no, I don't think that made a difference. It actually slowed him down. But Futon will be the first player into Palace of Darkness. Zaen is going to go ahead and check the catfish area.
At this point, they literally did every single thing what they could do, apart from, well, dungeon diving.
Mm-hmm. So what are we going to find in here, Zert? I'm thinking mitts.
I'm going to say that, in part, they will find Ice Rod, just to troll that little bit of hint towards T-Rock.
If they find the mitts, then they can do all of Darkbolt Death Mountain. Zaen saying no to the big heart. Where is he going to go next?
He didn't check Pyramid yet, did he?
He might not have.
But is he going to make the swamp play then, because he knows he can enter it?
It's looking like a swamp play to me.
On the other hand, I mean, this could be faster towards pod as well, so I don't know.
Yeah, with Meyer and, a lot of times players will try and do the Pyramid Fairy with the Pyramid Check, and Pod being one of them, but Meyer being the other Pyramid Fairy Crystal, like, it's going to be a while before we check that. But it looks like he's going to be the first player to go into Swamp, so we'll be getting some new information from both players, both doing required dungeons. Let's find out which one has the bigger payout.
Well, crystal-wise, of course, Futons, but item-wise, I'm actually reluctant to say that Swamp has had a lot of good items, especially on that left-hand side. And if Zaen actually finds silvers in Swamp, that would increase the speed of him doing Armos and Helmasaur by quite a bit compared to Futon.
I kind of want to see Armos have like something really good, like the mitts. Because then, if you look at it, players could have gotten the bottles from Death Mountain, to go to Sick Kid to get the bow, to go back to kill Armos, to then go back up to Death Mountain to do like the Dark World stuff after they've finished Tower of Hera.
Yeah, that is true as well.
It would be so fun. I'd love that. But it's probably gonna be a big 20.
I'm gonna go for the Validation Arrow. We haven't seen that one yet.
Ooh, that's a good one, especially to get you like just peeling it right off of the dead Armos.
Oh, shovel! Well, no V27 without fetch quest items, right?
Yeah, you know that thing I said earlier? This is better. I'll take this over mitts.
Will we have the Vanilla Flute then?
So yeah, at this point, our players are still looking for the flute, the mitts, whatever medallion they need to get Namire, and another sword.
And potentially boots, depending on whether that big key is in Ganon Tower.
Right.
But I definitely say that his sword is quite high on that list.
I gotta say, it is kind of rare to have a sequence where oftentimes you'll get like silvers early, but then the swords are really late, like super late. This one, the swords were late, and there's still no silvers. Kind of brutal.
And in all honesty, I mean, it doesn't really hurt these runners so far, because they've both been playing excellent on boss fights, etc. with the items they have.
Yeah, unfortunately, the bosses that they have fought have all been pretty, easy going. Blind being probably the hardest one, but when you have 12 to 14 hearts, whatever safeties you need, it's not really something you gotta work too hard with. And especially with the stun prize being fairies. I'd say these players have a good setup.
Well, the seed had to give something back somewhere, right?
Oh, and there they are!
Well, Willard, I have to say, you were, you predicted that one.
Pretty close. So yeah, bow to go back. Well, the thing is, that's not even a bow-locked item, by the logic, so... The bow... Unless the shovel leads to something.
Another full heart container on Zane's side.
He keeps on avoiding them, but they keep on coming back.
It's kind of like a boomerang. You don't want them, but they just keep on being thrown back indeed. Oh, there's our sword upgrade.
I told you, there's always a sword in Swamp. Every time. I love it. That's good. Because fighter sword or hammer strats on Argus is a pain in the butt.
I actually love fighting the Master Sword right before Argus indeed, because it just makes that just that little bit extra, well, easy on him.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, and to add to the list of required items, we do need either Fire Rod or Bombos to take out Cold Stare.
That is very true indeed. Zaen making excellent work with that Master Sword on Argus, not having any problems with it so far.
Now, of course, the second sword is definitely, required, important. But based on what we've seen so far, I feel like Pod was the better play, based on the items we found.
That is true, but then again, having an extra sword doesn't hurt Zaen all that much. And I mean, we still have the left side of Swamp to check.
Yeah, and Bombo's tablet. Oh, and there's the other cane. Cane of Burna. In Pod.
Well, we get both flavors right now, so we just need one flavor of Rod, preferably the red one.
Now, if our players go up to Darkworld Death Mountain and they see Ether for T-Rock, do you think they'll dive in real quick? Just for a spell? Just for a giggle?
I tend to do that, to be honest, because you're already there, and, well, generally you get locked out at like 2-3 items, and, well, unless, of course, you can get all the way to Laser Bridge and not paying off, but that doesn't happen that often.
Well, you got your arrow, your single arrow from the big chest in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, Zaen validated this run, so yeah.
Oh man, I love it.
Shoot Ganon now.
Can you say that again one more time?
What, that he validated his run now?
Yeah, thank you. It's my favorite phrase of this tournament.
Well, he can still not validate his run by, not checking the actual validation chest, but...
Oh man,
that's just completely nonsense, Fable.
Zaen having a little bit of struggle in Swamp Palace. He making a few little minor mistakes. He tried to go through this door without a key. Then he got the key, and then still tried to go left side without flooding it first. So just, I don't know. Interesting mistakes.
Maybe it's just the nerves of getting to him, that he feels like he hasn't found anything useful in the last 20 minutes or so.
He's got to be feeling nervous finding that bow and yet still going into Swamp Palace, so he's probably hoping to find something extremely important here on the left side, and I know he's going to be feeling even more nervous after leaving Swamp Palace if he doesn't find anything over here. Because nobody skips that chest in Swamp Palace, so Futon will be getting that sword from there at some point in time.
It depends. Oh no, wait, it wasn't a waterfall chest, right? Yeah, they definitely won't skip that one. But, I mean, if he finds silvers here on the left side, that would definitely make up some time towards Futon. And left side swamp is not, well, something that everybody checks. Ooh, Quake! That is big. Interesting.
And that's the last item in there. The last chest holding just the dungeon map. That's big. That could be required. And we have seen people gamble on left side.
And Zaen? Bombos tablet? Come on. No?
Nope.
No, he's going straight for Pod.
Well, he might be saving that for the purple chest adventure later.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, with the mids, they don't open up that much at this point, but yeah. I mean, what if Quake is actually required for T-Rock? And Fire Rod is in there, for example.
We've got options. I'm curious to see what Futon's next play is going to be after he finishes Pod.
Well, I definitely say that he's going towards Swamp Palace, because it is a crystal, you can finish it, and it's required anyway, so why not just do it?
Futon going for arrow strats. It's 8 arrows, but it's kind of inconvenient if you really gotta like be right up in his face. Or get some sort of pattern like that, where he just walks straight into you. That's always nice.
Elmasaur is being like, well, yeah, I give up.
Well, we might care about Fire Rod if we never find that Bombos medallion, because we do need some sort of means of killing that Ice on Cold Stairs buddy. So we'll see. Yeah, right now, I think the next real big progression item that we're looking for is going to be that flute.
Which should still be on that pedestal.
Oh, you're still thinking about that pedestal?
I'm always thinking about that pedestal, and I think a lot of people in the chat are as well.
Pedestal's not... When I see medallion or pendant T-Rock, like, pedestal is the last thing on my mind, because I'm like, alright, what items do I have? And these players are still missing both rods, so I wouldn't even be thinking about a pedestal item right now.
Well, to be extremely trolly, both rods could be in T-Rock. But yeah, the chances of that happening is, let's say, none.
Well, looks like Futon will be making that Swamp Palace play, and depending on how he routes it, he'll be getting a Master Sword and a Quake Medallion out of here. Opting to do this over going to Dark World Death Mountain, I don't think it's a bad play. You gotta knock out these crystals.
That would also mean that he just knocks off his 4th crystal, so just 3 to go after this. It's 50 even, I can't count. And he still has that shovel, which has been in his inventory for, well, just after his armor skill. So it will be interesting to see whether he, well, remembers it, yes or no.
Yeah. It's easy to forget about it. But not as bad, like... The only time it's, like, even easier to forget about it is if you, like, pick up the flute immediately afterwards, and then all of a sudden that shovel is just hidden forever. But yeah, this... He'll probably full clear Swamp Palace, which is going to give Zaen time to catch up. Not saying that Zaen is... Actually, no. At this point, these players are neck and neck still, because Futon is not acting upon that the Titan bits that he found, so...
I think it will take Zaen about the same amount of time, well, to clear Pod and EP out, and it will take Futon to 100% Swamp Palace.
And also... Yeah. And if, you know, Zaen has a little bit easier, he'll probably have a little bit easier of a time on Helmasaur. Be able to save a little bit of time. But both players missing... Yeah, both players missing the quick kill on Armos, so... No time save there. So yeah, as of right now, items that we haven't checked yet, we still haven't seen the Blacksmiths or Peg Cave. We haven't seen any of Darkwood Death Mountain because mitts were recently unlocked but have not been, like, used yet. We haven't seen Bombos, Purple Chest.
Pedestal.
Pedestal.
I think that's roughly it for overworld locations.
We have seen Spike Cave. Zaen did that.
We haven't seen all boot lock spots either, but then again, we don't have the boot yet.
Right, that's true.
And shovel spot. Indeed, we like that one.
I wonder if Futon will check that after finishing up Swamp Palace since he's in the neighborhood.
Well, it's basically a choice he has to make between Bombos Tablet or Shovel Spot, I think. And judging by his, leaving Hera without checking Spike Cave or Spiral Cave, I'm not too sure what he will do after that.
He might opt to just save and quit and then go up to Death Mountain.
Which, again, is not a bad play, considering we have the information about those locations. And Zaen going to pick up his nice Titan's mitts. He'll be happy to find those. But overall, I still have the feeling like this seed is progressing fairly nicely. I mean, we're 1 hour 5 minutes in, and basically we have 5 crystals done, and we're pretty much geared for Ganon at the moment, except for, well, maybe one extra sword upgrade.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure both these players can do Master Sword Silverless, but I'm sure both these players would rather not. Actually, nobody likes to do Master Sword Silverless, but...
Well,
yeah.
The difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword is like, I don't know, like 24 hits over 48 spin attacks?
Something like that. It's pretty ridiculous. We'll see.
Put on with these
nice
swag
from,
stats.
Can be easy to mess up, but when you get it going, it's... Oh, then if you get hit, if you miss the spin, you might as well just go for the 2 slashes.
I always love these fancy strats on bosses like these, though.
Mm-hmm. I still don't like Argus, though. Trinex is my favorite boss to fight because of the like hammer Trinex is always fun. But Argus, I'll never enjoy fighting him.
Especially not with the hammer.
It's just so obnoxious. Well, I can honestly say Futon is not, making up any ground or, having a... I believe that was a slower fight on Argus compared to Zane's Argus, so...
Yeah, indeed. And Futon still has to check the left side of Swamp. So, like I said, I think both of these runners are still insanely close to each other. There might be like a 1 minute difference between these 2 runners at the moment. And that being 1 hour 7 minutes in, that is still really close.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'd say Tempered Silverless is... I would pick Tempered Silverless over Master Sword with Silvers any day. Unless I have half magic and cape. Then I'll do Master Sword Silvers, because that's pretty free.
Or, of course, getting the God pattern of having Ganon at the top right side in Phase 2.
Or even the top left side, because you can take advantage of that as well. Personally, I'd rather do hammer strats in a swordless match, but, whatever.
Well, you can't damage Ganon with a hammer in this.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The thing that's always baffled me in this game as well, at least in open mode, is the fact that, well, if you have a shovel, why can't you use that as a weapon?
That's a good point. Can I also... Well, would it actually hurt them, or would it just stun them?
Well, I think if I took a shovel to the face in real life, that would definitely hurt me over stunning me.
I feel like taking a hookshot to the face or a boomerang to the face would also hurt you, though. And that, if you're looking at it that way.
Yeah, that's true. Or like getting hit in the face with a Bible, that would also hurt.
Like, I want to also like jump kick someone with my flippers, but we can't have everything.
I'd love to see that happen, though.
You could just bash someone over the head with your shovel, even with your little platter shield.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, hitting stuff with your mirror as soon as it breaks, then you lose your mirror. That would be not.
Can we get a game? Can we get a game mode where every single item does you just use that as your sword button instead? No swords, but every item can be used differently.
It's stuff for the mushroom. Anyways, let's see. Futon's going to grab his quick medallion, so he won't be missing out on that one. And Zaen is just going to kill Helmasaur for his nice burrito.
Yeah, it's going to end up being pretty close, and I think Zane's going to actually have a little bit easier of a time with Helmasaur with that Master Sword. I don't know how many... Is it 8? How many slashes is it with the...
It's still 8 slashes.
Okay.
Because bow does the exact same amount of damage as the... yeah.
Futon, check your items!
Well, maybe there's an item here and Zaen miscounted.
No.
Nope.
And he is just going to save it quick.
So he's skipping out on Dig Spot and Bomb Must Hamlet.
Oh no, this looks like a dig spot. Yep. Alright,
there we go.
Good play. Just got to get that information out of the way. So yeah, it's Futon with a very slight lead at this point, and Zaen going for some hammer pokes. which is a NMG strat generally.
Oh, that was a nice kill. 2 spin attacks and 2 hammer hits.
Yeah, it's only 4 hammer pokes on Helmasaur. But yeah, good use of combination of both pokes and spins, and we get the flute!
I call the vanilla flute!
That's amazing! Oh my gosh, alright.
Well, I gave you the Titan's Mitts, but I'm gonna take the flute one.
It's perfect. Well, that just changes everything. Looks like I would assume Futon would go straight to Meyer, and when you already have 2 of the 3 medallions, there's a good chance that you have the medallion that you need. But,
What would you rather see at the moment? Bombos being required for Meyer, so you know Bombos is your definitive go mode item? Or just seeing like a different medallion in there?
Maybe like Ether or Quake for Meyer, but then Bombos is in Meyer. Like, I don't want to see a Fire Rod. I want to see a Fire Rod in G Tower, and then like they get that early, or no, they get that like in a rando room, and they have to make that decision of, do I peace out and go to right side, or do I just keep going to Armos? Because we've seen that.
With the finding of that flute, that also means that the pedestal dream is
officially.
Well, no, not officially. It is
unofficially?
For 2% still alive if boots are required for Ganon Tower, and those are on the pedestal.
It's a bit of a stretch, but
we can dream. I think we can safely assume that pedestal won't be required this run.
And it is something.
I couldn't see it either.
It was a blur.
It was Bombos, apparently, according to chat.
They are wrong. It is Ether.
It is Ether, okay.
So Meyer is available.
Killer App was trolling us. The mushroom.
It's a mushroom and the red tunic, which is a nice find. So Futon going to be probably going right into Meyer and clearing it after he checks Checkerboard Cave. Because, you know, if you could find like a tempered sword out of there or something, that make things a little bit easier.
I'd rather find silvers at this point, just right before Vitreous.
Oh yeah, you're right. That'd be a good find. I mean, especially because they only have 7 arrows, so this is going to be a rough fight regardless. But at the same time, Cape and Master Sword makes for not the easiest of Vitreouses, but relatively easy. But yeah, these players pretty much neck and neck at this point.
Yeah, we're sorry we could not get into the Shadow Fire and Ice again, because I think the chances of that happening is just, well, nothing. Well, slim at best.
Alright, what kind of Meyer are we going to get? And are we going to find our next progression items in here or not?
Well, even if it's not, then the only real things that are open to them at this point is basically only T-Rock and Death Mountain. At least dungeon-wise, T-Rock is open to them.
Yeah, these players still need to find a fire source to complete Ice Palace, whether it's in the form of Fire Rod or Bombos Medallion. But we know we don't need the Fire Rod because both Skullwoods and T-Rock are pendants. Unless we need Fire Rod just to get... No, because if we find Fire Rod, then we're good. I mean, of course, it's still that whole potential boots required for G-Tower scenario, but at this point, I don't know.
I don't want to use my commentator's curse, but I have seriously never ever seen that happen, that they had to backtrack for boots.
It's a very rare sight to see a double dip G-Tower. The last one I think I saw was... I think it was in the main tournament where I believe it was Kyle, LPN, had to... Actually, no, it wasn't a double dip G-Tower, never mind. But he had to go out and find another sword before he could beat Ganon. So yeah, I don't think we've seen a double dip G-Tower in the tournament yet. Or at least I haven't seen it.
I think we've seen Aga and Pedestal required seeds. I think we've even seen a triple dip in pod. Well, forced triple dip in pod even. But I don't even think we have seen a forced double dip G-Tower indeed. But my ultimate dream is still like a forced quad dip in T-Rock.
Why?
I don't know. I just want to see it more sometimes. Just
do you want people to never play this game again?
Well, I think if that was to happen, then we would get a lot of people watching though, but playing would be a different thing indeed.
I guess that's true, yeah. I mean, if it happens, like, just on coincidence, like the randomizer just randomly did that to him, it's one thing. It's another thing if it's like a plando or something, where people specifically wanted you to do a bunch of awful things to beat the game. Guys, just watch out.
Who's not listening to this?
You just gotta watch out for those people that are working on the customizers, the custom randos, the plandos. And we did get the big key out of here, but Futon's still going to go ahead and check this spot. And depending on if both players make this play, you know, we could see a little bit of a route divergence or potentially even a lead change at this point.
That's just how close these two runners are at this point.
And it looks like Zaen is opting to skip this chest. So if this is one of the items, this could be big.
And if it's not one of those items, this is still big. Just a compass. Let's see if Futon made the right decision here. Ooh, it is an item though.
He did make the right decision. Just wasn't what he was looking for.
It was a valuable play, let's keep it at that.
I mean, oftentimes you want to make the Vitreous play and be like, Vitreous has the other item. But I don't know, it seems rare that that Vitreous does.
But Zaen is actually playing a little bit with fire though, because he only has 1.5 heart remaining, and this dungeon does a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's got to get a stunned, fairy drop or something.
I still don't know whether he knows if it's required or not. And it looks like Vidi has the final item.
All right, what's it gonna be? At this point, I could see it being nothing, and our answer is in a hookshot cave or something, or even remarkably pendant T rock.
Ooh, Zaen, come on, you have to be really careful now, because I don't think they have fairies, right?
Nope, I believe they only have that empty bottle and that green potion.
Will he be setting up for a death warp or something? Yeah, look, he's actually looking right now like, oh, I don't have anything.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, I think you might be able to use the hookshot to stun those bomb slugs, but this dungeon doesn't really have, except for that Stalfos in the dark room.
I think you can also stun Wizrobes, right, with your hookshot?
No, you cannot. You can't stun those, and like the little popos at the beginning of the dungeon insta die to hookshot. So
okay, then yeah, and the little slugs at the end. The falling slime thingies.
Oh, you might actually be. I think you can stun those, but we'll have to find out and see if Zaen actually remembers, or if he even knows that the fairy drop is a stun.
And wait, here is Stalfos. We can also stun that one.
Yeah,
that one I'm 100% sure of.
Mm-hmm. I only know some of the enemy names. You got these guys, the little droopy dudes.
I'd like to call them rain slimes. Well, not mud slimes, because they drop down in like a brownish color. Ooh, Zaen! Oh, and taking an unfortunate death right before the Vitreous entrance.
Was that from an Ana fairy or from?
Well, by the looks of it, it was kind of everything like ganging up on him. I think it was a Wizrobe shot, 2 anti-fairies, and a spike or something along those lines.
Actually, I just remembered the little slimes do insta-die to the hookshot, so though they do have blue boomerang. So, but I just want to point out, Futon, what are you doing? Why are you using hammer strats? Just get out the cape and just do some spins. You madman.
Yeah, I don't get that, why he was using the bombs indeed. But then again, he only has 7 arrows, so he would still have to use a couple of slashes on Vitreous.
Yeah, whereas we still need at least 8 arrows for the big eye.
Yep, and Zaen has 8, so that would save him minor amounts of time.
I mean, this is a little slow, but he didn't die, so that's far more important. So he's going to be keeping his lead for now.
Ever so slim it is. Oh,
I was like,
worried that he's going to mirror out.
Don't mirror out.
And powder. Well, that is.
Well,
I don't know.
Okay, that's frustrating to be honest, because it's like, no, I didn't want that because I want to go up and do Dark World Death Mountain, and now you got the whole. Do I do blacksmiths now? Purple chest, bombos, or do I just go straight up to Death Mountain?
Getting powder there is like seeing mushroom on pedestal. You don't know. Well, it's nice to have, but you don't know whether it's required or not.
Mm-hmm. Or even worse, like I think a fetch quest on the Lumberjack Cave, because you usually find that out really early, and you're like, no, please don't. I don't want to go here. I don't want to do this.
There's also incentive for him to check Bombo's tablet, which we still haven't seen yet.
Yeah, but I would expect to see a divergence from these players at this point. I feel like the Dark World Death Mountain is the better play, but I could easily be wrong.
I think at this point, I would hand in the mushroom first, buy some potions, and then head into the Dark World Death Mountain indeed. Zaen realizing he does have that nice cape with half magic.
Yeah, so you can see, for instance, how much quicker this is.
The eyes are just getting destroyed by the Master Sword here.
Yeah,
and there we already have all the arrows, all the eyes down.
And he'll actually be able to save an arrow because he did get a couple spins on the big eye as well. Funny enough, you can actually kill the big eye before you kill the small eyes. Spin on how you do it.
And Futon realizing that he placed his portal in the wrong location here.
I think you just wanted to do the hammer pegs first. Getting a little ahead of himself.
Slow hammer pegs.
Mm-hmm.
The fun part is always, as soon as you do these and you find the boots right after.
They're the best part. Well, yeah, that's always fun. Or you get your go mode item in here, and now you're like, oh, now I have this stupid frog with me. Oh, that's nice.
That's not a bad find. And it looks like Zaen, these runners are just following Jenner's footsteps. It's just really weird to see, yet at the same time awesome.
Well, at least that way we know we're going to get a close race. That could come down to a G-Tower play, but at this rate, I'd see both players doing the safe route in G-Tower. You know, check the two chests on the right. If you get a small key, do right side. If you don't, go left. But a big 20 from the blacksmiths.
And then we're going to see an execution battle, which is always nice to see as well.
I gotta say, though, at this rate, I would have checked Bombos right after Swamp. Just because then you can just save and quit, or you can mirror and then just flute to the dam to turn the purple chest. Because walking the chest all the way there, even with the hook shot, is really slow. It's really awful.
I think they just go to save and quit to 4, well, just to Link's house and then hand it in, and, well, go to the Dark World and hand it in, then mirror.
Yeah, we'll see what Futon decides to do. Yeah, Zaen right on his tail, not far behind. Picking up his fairy bottle. Okay, good. He is actually going to pick it up.
But hard containers are, well, doesn't fancy him, but like fairies and bottles, always good. Let's see if they hand in that mushroom first as well.
Well, it looks like Futon is doing that thing you just said. They're going to go into the Dark World right here. And then be able to knock out both Purple Chest and Bombo's Tablet at the same time.
I mean, this is definitely not bad driving.
I would assume this is faster. By, like, seconds.
Well,
more than that.
Save the frames, kill the animals, right?
Yeah, might as well. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That does, after completion of Mire, that does unlock the Pyramid Fairy.
I think they literally want to have everything checked before they head up to Death Mountain.
Well, yeah. Well, the convenient thing is if they find what they need, then they wouldn't have to make like a double trip up to Death Mountain, because they'll be able to finish Ice Palace and then make that trip up to G Tower, as opposed to going up to Death Mountain, doing right side, and then going to Ice Palace, and then going back up to Death Mountain to do G Tower.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we still have the possibility of Fire Rod being deep inside T-Rock, depending on how the keys are in there.
It is nothing, man. So Death Mountain's the play. I wonder, here's the thing, Futon did skip Ether Tablet, and he did skip Spiral Cave, so I'm wondering if he's worried about those two locations.
I think he has completely forgotten about them. Because generally you do certain things on autopilot, like going into the well and Blind's Hut. And I think as soon as you get up to Hera, and, well, you basically think you have done Spiral Cave. And both of these decisions giving, like, a piece of heart in the end.
Well, that brings Futon up to 16 hearts, so we're only 4 away from getting the big 20.
And yeah, he's going towards Dark Death Mountain right now. Literally the only play that these two players have left.
And I'm assuming because he skipped, Tablet, Spiral, Spike, he'll definitely continue skipping that and aim for Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave, since those definitely have far more value. Whoa, that was
going to go for... He is going to go for Fat Fairy, apparently. This could get interesting.
Oh, hold up. Interesting.
And we still have the green pendant in Desert as well, which could
that's true.
Be the one item we need.
All right, here's where this little bitty baby route divergent could make or break these players. We might see... I feel like Futon's been in the lead pretty much the entire game. Or at least... Yeah, I think I'd comfortably say that. Maybe not the entire game. He was the first one to get the hammer, and I think he's held the lead the entire time since. Even if it's by just like a couple seconds. But
yeah, and these runners have been... silvers. Well, that's kind of on the way to G-Tower, so I'd expect Zaen to grab those as well. But still a really nice find.
I mean, if he finds his Go Mode item here in Pyramid Fairy, I could easily see him skipping those.
Well, they're on the way, so and he still lacks a sword, so I definitely grab those since they're kind of on the way to G-Tower.
That's true, and since they don't have the T-Rock portal set up, they'll probably go through the route of Super Bunny Cave to get
another heart container. 17 hearts on Futon right now. And Hookshot Cave has
tempered sword
upgrade.
Silvers and tempered, wow.
And
there's Bombos! And a sword!
That is Go Mode for Zaen. That was an insane Fat Fairy right there.
Woo! Wow, well, we've also found the last 2 swords in the game.
Yeah, within 2 seconds of each other, way on the other half of the world. So it looks like Fat Fairy was the play indeed. Unless, T-Rock holds the Fire Rod.
Yeah, we still don't know what kind of G-Tower we're going to get, but I'd be comfortable thinking that we have everything we need to finish out the rest of this game. And unfortunately for Futon, because he skipped this and Spiral Cave and Spike Cave, he'll probably go ahead and full clear all that. Well, it looks like he's going to go do Spike Cave, and then more than likely he'll go for the Pyramid Fairy play, so... Zaen does take the lead.
Did Futon check what medallion was required for T-Rock?
No, he did not. He's not going there.
And another fun fact is, Futon has the silver arrows, but doesn't have arrows.
Oh yeah, good point.
And yeah, by the amount of hearts they have, he can just, walk over the spikes and grab another piece of heart.
Alright, Futon. Ooh, going back up the mountain. This might be the Spiral Cave play.
Or the T-Rock check, which... It could only work out at this point if it has Fire Rod.
Yeah, because Fire Rod would make... Fire Rod and... Well, yeah, if he got the Fire Rod, he could skip Pyramid Fairy altogether.
Yeah, and then he does have the Silvers for Ganon, which is a nice speed upgrade compared to Tempered Sword. But on the other hand, both of these runners still need to find at least 4 arrows before heading into G-Tower because of that first Mimic Room.
Futon making a few mistakes. He did not mean to go that way. I was like, where are you going? You've already done Paradox Cave.
I was probably going towards T-Rock and forgot that he needed the other entrance.
Alright, Zaen, let's see how many bomb jumps it takes. He seems like he's comfortable, like he's got it.
Let's see. Okay, nice.
It's one of the challenges about using custom sprites, is you gotta relearn the bomb jumps for each one. So us as a viewer who don't, or a commentator who don't, you know, have those pixels memorized, we'll just have to be like, oh sure, I'm sure he's got it.
Well, the fun part is that, well, both me and you play this game as well. We have the sprites which we play as, where we know the exact setup, but as soon as we see a weird sprite, we just don't know the setup for it.
Futon getting stopped by the Dead Rocks. He's going to choose Spiral Cave over T-Rock for now, but will he spend the time going back up to T-Rock?
That is the question indeed. Find another piece of heart.
So at this point, you got to be wondering, did he forget about Pyramid Fairy? Or does he know about it, but he's just going for the gamble?
I think he's going to play the numbers game here. Because basically it was 2 chests in Pyramid Fairy over... Oh, come on, Futon.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, they really don't like him. But what if, just what if, Boots are in T-Rock and Futon's going to find him and the key's on the big charge?
Well, at this point, that's the only way Futon can...
That was a clean
survive this race. He needs G-Tower to have... or he needs something to be required to complete G-Tower, and he needs something to be in T-Rock, but the chances of that are... oh man, they're pretty slim right now.
But the main question is, at this point, does Zaen know the bomb jump for the right-hand side if the big key is there?
With the lamp? Probably. Yeah. I'd say...
it's not a bomb jump which you need to do that often, so...
yeah, it's a pretty rare one. Oh man, imagine if T-Rock was Bombos. And Futon would have been...
deathFouton's just not being kind to both our runners.
Oh, that's rough. So for Futon's sake, he needs this first chest to be an item. And it to be nothing... he needs it... well, I mean, I'd rather it... well, actually, if it was a fire rod, it would be perfect, because then he could just go straight to Ice Palace.
Or the boots.
Yeah. If it's boots, that'd be even better. Oh no, but then that would send him to all the boots locations.
Yeah, but then again, if you would find fire rod at that point, then yeah. So it is a small key, so we're continuing to the Chain Chomp room. Or not? No? Wait, did Futon just realize he could do Fat Fairy?
That might have been the realization right there. And he's gonna be hurt. He's gonna be really upset to find those items in there. And, well, yeah, because Zaen is gonna get the silvers regardless. He's gonna find them right here, and he's gonna be pretty ecstatic to see those. Though I'm sure he would be just as happy with silverless tempered, but tempered and silvers.
Oh no, he's
they're
right there.
Oh no! Oh. Wow, I stand corrected. But at the same time, he doesn't know that. So, and he's probably 100% comfortable with the items that he has. So he doesn't need the silvers to win this, in his mind.
That is true, indeed.
But the thing is, you know, not having silvers, that's... like, Futon's going to end up having gold sword and silvers. But at this point, with the whole Ice Palace behind, I don't think that's going to be enough for Futon to make up ground.
I think at this point, it is Zane's race to lose, unfortunately for Futon. And of course, indeed, we do have that guessing game. We completely forgot about that. So let's see, we have a small key and fire rod. Well, that opens up right hand side. So it's actually really good that Futon did not check the right hand side then, or T-Rock. But yeah, this definitely puts Zaen in go mode, unless the boots are required. And it looks like Mr. Willard is is excusing himself because there's a lawnmower outside. Who does such a thing? People watching Rando here. So let's see, next up are just 3 to 6. And it's just number 3 is the big key for Zaen. So that fire rod was in a really, really good position right there. I'm expecting him to grab the, to grab the small key here and then go straight up to Ganon Tower. But let's have a look-see. We actually have 2 people who call chest number 3, which is JR Jatham and I don't know how to pronounce this name, but I'm going for Silveira. My god, I'm really bad at pronouncing names. I'm sorry. And Zaen did pick up some arrows, so that is quite lovely because he was running absolutely out, and you do need arrows to kill these mimics in here. And very clean mimic rooms here by Zaen. And that also means that Futon is in definitive go mode as well, apart from Fire Rod, but then again he will most likely pick them up in G-Tower. And while this is playing out, I do want to remind you that if you really enjoyed these runners, what they did with the randomizer, I am pretty sure that they do way more randomizers on their own channels. So if you would like to see more of them, just give them a small follow. And of course, as well, shout out to my fellow commentator who's currently being bugged by a Lanmolas, Willard J. Bradley, our restreamer, there we go, our restreamer Iwo Saru, and our tracker Justin Z. I had the names ready, but, you know, I'm getting old here. Zaen immediately going to use that fire rod, who is good on these land mollusts. We're nearly getting the 1 cycle. But still getting a really clean kill after it. While Futon, decides to get 1 extra chest, which Zaen does not get. And it has the ice rod. Well, that would have given us the full pedestal action right there. But as we know, it literally can't hold anything at this point. Zaen taking an unfortunate death in this room here. Oh, not death, even fall, so he'll lose a little bit of time, but I don't really think it matters at this point. Getting the clean Wizrope room after that. And, well, with the Butter Sword and Bomb Boss, I expect Futon to make really short work of this Cold Stare here. And there we have it, the really quick kill on Cold Stare. Nice done, nicely done right there. Getting his 7th crystal, and he's heading up to Ganon Tower as well. And I honestly don't expect Zaen to open any more chests in here. Maybe the validation chest, because he is just, completely equipped here for Ganon. Not even opting to grab the fairy refill here. That is quite odd. I mean, I see a lot of people do that. But then again, with red mail and the amount of hearts that these runners have at this point, I don't really... Well, I'm not really that surprised that he doesn't do it. And he validates for probably one of the last pieces of heart that is left in this seed. Let's see how nice Agate 2 is for Zaen. It starts off with a decent pattern right here, getting the nice double hit, so still 4 to go. Followed up by yet another decent pattern, but he gets blue balled by Aghanim, which is always annoying. Just one more hit. And there we have it, Agate 2 is down, and Zaen is heading up to Ganon right now.
Alright, I've taken care of the land molars. They're gone now.
Did you hammer them?
I used bomb strats. It was great.
That just sounds horrible. I can just see your neighborhood just like, yeah, just flying around with his lawnmower.
There are 3 lawnmowers, and they're coming out of the ground somehow. Oh, now there's people talking outside. Ah, this is awful. I'll be right back.
Zaen getting the nice one cycle, I think, here on the first phase. Nicely done with that spin slash on, well, ricocheting off the trident of Ganon. And I think he counted his slashes, so he knows he's in phase 3 right now. But then again, Phuton has the silvers, and Zaen does not, so that could mean a slight difference here. And Zane's going to see, well, did you find the arrows in Dark Death Mountain? The Dark World. And he's like, I nearly full cleared the Dark World, where are they? Until he hits the realization that he literally walked past them at one point. Really nicely executed here by Zaen, getting the triple hit in the second phase. Meanwhile, Phuton is grabbing his big key, and he is also going to start his ascent of Ganon Tower. And I think just one more hit for Zaen, and that should do it. No, wait, one more. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Zaen takes game 1, and I do not know the official SRL time because I unfortunately forgot to go into the IRC channel.
Zaen finishes with the time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 52 seconds.
You beat Lon Molus 2 just in time to get the SRL time. Phuton digging for arrows because he realized he lacks them for the first Mimic Room, and getting literally everything apart from arrows. And at this point, I'm not too sure whether we'll have an interview between games 1 and 2, or whether we're just going to do the 2 games in total and, well, do an interview after the second one. But I think at this point, Futon might as well just finish off this race because he's not that far behind. It was basically to recap this entire game, it was extremely exciting throughout the entire game, and just one decision of Zaen going into Fat Ferry over T-Rock Gamble, which Futon did, had the difference between these two runners. And as far as I can read from the chat from Mr. Willard, Game 2 is going to start soon-ish. If you want to know when that is, then you'll have to poke Willard J. But it does mean that we're not going to have an interview after Game 1, so you'll have to wait until after Game 2 for the interview of these two awesome runners. And as soon as Game 2 starts, we're also going to have a new commentary team for you. It will be Herfy Durfy and Buckshot Boot 24. We're just waiting for those to get ready, and meanwhile you can listen to my soothed voice. And of course, Willard J. Bradley's Weed Whackers and Lawn Molasses. And I still see people hoping for a Bugnet to be on the pedestal, so let's see what's in there. Right after the Dancing Pickles and the Uncle that's going to be alright, we're going to see what is on the pedestal. And unfortunately, the Broken Heart. That was one of the last heart pieces that we still lacked at that point. And I have no idea what Futon is trying to do right now, but I think he's trying to clip out of the walls on G Tower. It's quite interesting to see. And, well, he just doesn't give anything about the climb, he just goes straight for Ganon Tower. Only not seeing anything what Agatu is doing right here. That is the wrong Aga. You need to get the, that one, yeah. And nearly getting the triple with having only half a screen on, which is quite impressive on its own. And Pedestal was just a heart piece, so one of the few that they still lack to get 100% of hearts. And it's also nice to see on Photon's side that his screen turned all back to normal for Ganon. Because finding him on half a screen is not the most fun thing you can have. And whereas he has silvers, he can't use them because he lacks arrows. And, well, as far as I've heard, the time for me and Willard at this point is done. So I would like to thank you all for watching game number 1. And, well, we're going to get Herfy Durfy and Buckshot Boo 24 in here for game number 2. So everybody, have fun, and, well, may the best one win. And, of course, enjoy yourselves with the amounts of rando we still have tonight. See ya!
Thanks, guys. Also, shout out to Zert for covering me while I was fighting off the lawnmowers. And shouts to our tracker, Justin Z, and of course, shouts to Imasaru for restreaming this and restreaming the next one. Take it away, Herfy and Buckshot.